Sierra Space has recently conducted a successful test on a full-sized inflatable module meant for commercial space stations, showcasing remarkable progress. We'll also take a look at what this could mean for Sierra Space's stock valuation in the future. Now, let's check out the video that the Sierra Space team just released.
Okay, you guys clear? 45 PSI, 50 PSI, 50 PSI, 55 PSI, 55 PSI, 65 PSI. On the way to burst, go Sierra Space, go NASA. Starting to go down in pressure. So maybe it's a leak in the test article and it's trying to overcome it. We're dropping just as fast as we were filling it.
We didn't burst. There was a little bit of an issue that we're taking a look at. There's some type of leak rate or leak that's happening in the article. We're gonna go out there and do a post-mortem review.
It looks like there was a valve failure on our 6-inch vent valve.
So good news, the article could still be tested, and we're gonna go down and close those valves, fix it. Beth and the team, along with NASA, will come up with a mitigation process, and we'll move forward.
We had a really successful test. Although we did not burst our article, we did surpass the factor of safety threshold recommended by NASA. Today we're going to be back in the control room for part 2 of the test. While we did surpass our threshold yesterday, we still want to burst our test article to really see how much margin we have.
Burst, go Sierra Space, go Austin, go NASA. 55 PSI, 55 PSI, 63 PSI, 63 PSI. 70 PSI, 70 PSI.
Comes my number.
75 PSI, 75 PSI. That's insane.
Sierra Space does not currently have a confirmed timeline for going public. While they are considered a promising company in the new space economy, with projects like the Dream Chaser spaceplane and the Orbital Reef space station, going public isn't the only path they may take. Sierra Space remains a privately held company, meaning its shares are not traded on public stock exchanges. Some platforms may offer pre-IPO investment opportunities for accredited investors to buy shares in Sierra Space before a potential public listing. On January 22, the company announced that it carried out a burst test of its Large Integrated Flexible Environment (LIFE) module at NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center. This test demonstrated that the module meets and exceeds safety standards set by NASA. During the test, known as the Ultimate Burst Pressure Test, the LIFE module was inflated until its internal pressure caused it to burst. The module burst at a pressure of 77 pounds per square inch, psi, which is nearly 27% higher than NASA's recommended level of 60.8 psi and 4 times the maximum operating pressure for the module. Prior to testing the full-size LIFE module, Sierra Space conducted a series of smaller-scale tests of the technology. Don't forget to subscribe. In one test in September, a smaller version equipped with a metallic blanking plate achieved a 33% safety margin. Following this, the company proceeded with burst tests on the full-size LIFE module. The primary goal of these burst tests was to evaluate the performance of the restraint layer, or pressure shell, of the module. This layer is constructed from Vectron, a strong fiber, along with other fabrics, and was developed by Sierra Space in partnership with ILC Dover. The LIFE module is designed to be compact during launch, fitting within a 5-meter payload fairing, and then expanding once in orbit. Once fully expanded, the module will offer a volume of 300 cubic meters, approximately 1/3 of the habitable volume of the International Space Station. Sierra Space has proposed a larger version of LIFE that can fit into a 7-meter payload fairing, providing a volume of 1,400 cubic meters. Tom Weiss, chief executive of Sierra Space, emphasized the benefits of the inflatable space station technology, citing its large in-space pressured volume, favorable economics, and low launch and operating costs. Life is expected to be a key component of Orbital Reef, a commercial space station being developed in collaboration with Blue Origin and others. Sierra Space has also proposed launching a Life module as a standalone pathfinder space station before Orbital Reef. The company received support from NASA through an unfunded Space Act agreement, allowing access to expertise and data to advance the Pathfinder and crewed versions of its Dream Chaser spaceplane. Sierra Space has achieved significant funding milestones as of September 26, 2023. They have raised a total of $1.7 billion through combined Series A and B rounds, resulting in a valuation of $5.3 billion. Recent funding highlights include a $290 million Series B round led by Japanese investors in September 2023, and a $1.4 billion Series A round in November 2021 led by U.S. investors. This marks the largest capital raise ever by a commercial space company across these rounds. Their investors include private equity firms, institutional investors, and Japanese entities. Funding sources include equity rounds and customer contracts, with a substantial backlog of $3.4 billion. Investing in Sierra Space stock has its upsides and downsides. On the bright side, Sierra Space operates in the rapidly growing commercial space industry, offering promising opportunities for growth. With significant funding and partnerships, like those with Japanese investors and involvement in projects like Orbital Reef, there's potential for the stock value to increase. Sierra Space's focus on developing cutting-edge technologies, such as the Dream Chaser spaceplane, and its strong backlog of customer contracts set a solid foundation for future revenue growth. However, there are risks to consider. The space industry is fiercely competitive and faces regulatory uncertainties that could affect Sierra Space's operations and financial performance. Being a relatively new player, Sierra Space may encounter challenges in executing its ambitious projects and meeting investor expectations. Moreover, the company's reliance on government contracts and the cyclical nature of the space industry could also affect stock performance. Therefore, potential investors should carefully consider these factors before deciding to invest in Sierra Space stock. If you'd like to continue exploring this world of finance, consider subscribing and inviting your friends to join the conversation. We're here to provide insights and knowledge. Check out this eye-opening video by clicking on the link if you want to know more.